Okay, we are recording. All right, you guys, perfect. Welcome to week 3, and it is the last day of March. So big business month end. So congrats, thank you. You guys were all a big part in month 3 of Mercedes as well for Team Ignite. So yay! I'm super excited about that. For the team, it's a huge accomplishment, and hopefully we can be one of the top 5 in the northern region, which would be amazing. But so tonight, we have already covered posting and language. So tonight I just want to talk very briefly about events. And Amanda, I will have you do your stats first. And then Jess, if you don't mind just throwing out there what you did for the week, and then we can go from there. So Amanda, you can go first. Are you still there?
Oh, maybe she's not.
Technology.
Sorry, guys. I lost you all for a second. So can you, I'm sorry, just repeat it one more time. What?
Yeah, you could just go through and say, how many new PCs did you get this last week? And how did you feel about like your reach outs and stuff like that? Reach outs and follow-ups.
Oh yeah. So I'm having technical difficulties, but this week I didn't have any new PCs. I had new clients that were actually curious about the product. So what I ended up doing is putting it on like my personal account as a consultant, giving them the opportunity to try out the product. And then if they felt, comfortable, then they said they would go ahead and join on as a PC. As far as my reach out, I actually have somebody who's interested in becoming part of the business. So I'm kind of massaging that a little bit more. So I think within the next month, I'm probably going to have my first person on the team. So that's pretty exciting. Yeah, I know. I'm like, finally. And so this month actually was my highest, ultimately, out of all of the months that I've had before. So super excited about that. And other than that, I think I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with the conversation. So thank you, Lauren, for that material on how to structure what that looks like.
Good. Yay. That's exciting. That's a big week. I feel like you should be very happy about that. I was telling Jessica on Friday, we have to celebrate these victories. Sometimes people talk and they say, oh, I didn't have a very good week. I didn't do this. I only had this, this, and this, and this. And I'm like, celebrate that. So that's great. Congrats. Please let me know, or, Jessica or whoever, let's get on a call and let's chat with this person and let's just get her the information and kind of go from there. You feel her out, but know that I'm just volunteering, Jessica, but know that we're both here for that. So
awesome.
Jessica rocks at calls because I've been on them with her. So, and I, of course, rock at them as well. But yes, I would love to help you. And then I actually just did a training for a new VP for 30 minutes right before this. That's why I was a little late getting on. And I feel like we have a really great way to onboard people now that's really simple. So, so I'm happy to help however I can, but that's amazing. So congrats on that. And
thank you.
Yeah, well observed. Jessica, how was your week? I know that you, I already know, but you can share with us.
Yeah. So my week overall was kind of a struggle, but I did meet my first milestone.
Yay!
So hopefully little gifts will be coming in the mail soon.
Perfect. What did you pick?
Yeah, I got 15 orders in this month. I was happy about. No new PCs this week, but I did have some this month. So that was
great.
A victory. And there's one other thing I was going to say. Oh, I had a bunch of birthday parties this weekend. So a lot of new conversations and meeting new people. And, those can always lead to potential PCs and business partners. So
that's right. Friend them on Facebook and they can start stalking you. It's great.
Yeah. What's that girl doing?
Great. Well, you guys both had great weeks. Congrats. Yeah. This video is going to be like, where's Liam in the videos? Is he?
I know.
Okay, so awesome. Those are great weeks. I want to talk to you guys about events quickly. And so the first thing I will say is Facebook has changed the way that our groups work now. So when you invite someone to a group, they have to accept the invitation. They're not automatically in it. And what this does is if they get a notification and they miss it, they don't get added to the group, nor do they see any of the content in it. And so recently we've been doing some Facebook groups with people, and there have been like 8 people attending, and they invited like 100. And so what I will say is if you are doing a virtual event, I would set it up as an actual event. Set a date, set the date like 2 weeks out from when you actually are going to do it, and then start loading in the content and doing a live and saying like, hey guys, you know, my event is set for this date. That's actually the day we're going to be closing. You know, whatever we're doing, I just want to take the next 2 weeks or the next week or the next 5 days and talk to you guys about Rodan & Fields. You know, follow my posts, win some prizes, yada, yada. Kind of do it the same way, but do it as an event, because as an event, whether they say they're going or not, they see all the content. They get notifications for it. So we're kind of having to go around the Facebook rules with groups for these virtual events and actually having to make them events. And so I would just say kind of play around with that a little bit. If you have a better way to get around with that, I would love to hear about it. But I know the group setting, unless you make it public, which you can do, the only problem is you just have to make sure you're super compliant, and then that limits probably the flexibility of like videos and stuff. You can still do them, but I know that compliance becomes a factor. So just one thing to keep in mind. I know a lot of people are having a lot of luck doing virtual events through Instagram. So setting up an Instagram account or doing it through your own, and just having that account be for showcasing Rodan & Fields for like just an event, and then kind of having it shut down. I think Amanda and we've talked about this a little bit. It's totally up to you, or if you want to just showcase it for your stories, however you want to do, get some videos and populate and kind of have it be something that you put then in your highlights. But I would definitely say trying to do some type of virtual event is great. A lot of girls are having success with posting and saying, hey, I'm going to be going live tonight on Instagram, and I'm just going to be telling you my story and what I love about Rodan & Fields. Feel free to join me. I'd love to have you. And then they're going live for, 10 or 15 minutes. Jenny Summer Carswell is someone that does this. Jackie Plack has been doing this. Lindsay Ratcliffe has been doing this. And they've just been getting a ton of attention, and they're doing it once a month and going live and just kind of really sharing about the business and the products and why they are super passionate about it. And they're getting a ton of following. So those are a couple of virtual options. The other thing too is events that you can put together in person are always wonderful. Today, actually, I had an event at my house. I had an open house from 11 to 2, and I actually partnered with a couple other vendors. I had a wine vendor as well as a jewelry vendor, and they came in, and we all three invited our networks. We had like a brunch. It was nothing official. We kind of had our stations. We interacted with others. We had people come in and out. We probably had 4 to 5 people at a time throughout the whole thing. And it was a great number to just be able to talk and walk through things. But I would say if you know somebody that sells something else, band together. Women support women. And so that has been great. I was at one the other night that was oils and jewelry. So I feel like these multiple, like girls' night out, Sunday fun day, like those types of things, showcase multiple vendors. I had friends that came that have never bought Rodan & Fields, even when I've talked to them. And they came and they tried wine and jewelry, and they took samples. And now actually one of them signed up as a PC. She's like, I'm just going to bite the bullet and do it. But it was just getting her there to see the product. And she came for the jewelry. So I think it's a matter, I know Tara Bacon has had some really good luck. She actually has a standing like 1 month thing every month or every other month where she partners with somebody and then has an open house. And hers is actually, she does it all day, and people just kind of trickle in and out. And she said she usually has 2 or 3 people kind of trickling in and out at a time. And it's great because she can have really one-on-one conversations with them. So finding some of those things that you can do in your home, I feel like is just a more inviting place for people to be there. It doesn't cost you a ton. I had very little in, some cheese and some fruit and, you know, a couple of things on the side and some drinks where if you go into a restaurant, there's usually a limit of what you need to do. If you want to do it at a restaurant, though, some really great ideas that I've heard and that I have actually tried and had some good results with is just find a restaurant that's centrally located to where you want to go and just book a table for 10 and then show up, have some products that you have in a bag kind of on the floor, like a little, not a duffel bag. What am I thinking of? Tote bag. That's what we've done. We kind of hang it over the chair. People sit down, you know, our guests, we say, hey, come to happy hour. We're going to have a happy hour get together and people come and we just chat. And then we say, hey, you know, thanks for coming. We really wanted to chat with you guys a little bit about Rodan and Fields. For those of you that don't know the products, here's some of the products. We kind of pass them around the table. It's nothing super formal, but that happy hour style has been great. And then you've only booked a reservation. So maybe you get an appetizer or two, or maybe you guys order drinks or not, but you're not required to be set to a private room or any type of minimum. So those are some really great options, but also partnering with other Rodan and Fields people in the area can be really awesome as well, and trying some really unique locations, you know, wine tasting at wineries or breweries are a big hit, stuff like that. That's pretty simple for you to just go in and have a table. I know some coffee shops have back rooms and you can ask them and they usually use them for free. And you say, hey, can I do like a little pop-up shop here? And you can just catch people that are coming in and out, let people know you're going to be there. So those are some options. You don't have to do events. That is not what this company is about. But it's great to kind of switch it up every now and then. And I will definitely be doing another like brunch style something this summer for sure, because I had just people that were out walking in the neighborhood that stopped in, which was really great to see them as well. So those are a couple of things about events that I would say. The last like type of event would be a corporate event. So if there's a corporate event that's in your area, I highly recommend that you take part in it, whether they're doing a training or an event or how it's structured. You always learn from the trainings, no matter how many of them that you go to. There's usually different people speaking. But the events where you can bring guests to, even if you don't have a guest to bring, it helps for you to go and network. I always try to meet a couple of new consultants when I'm there, and they have become people that have now become friends that now I collaborate with, that, hey, they have an event going on. My team doesn't have anything planned. Why don't you invite your people to it? So it really kind of becomes this great network when our teams are not always based around us, especially like our team. It's all across the United States. So anyway, I just wanted to talk briefly about events and the success that people are having with them. And you will hear, actually, we have a guest speaker next week to talk. And her team does events actually a lot. And so she's going to touch on a little bit about what they're doing as well. And I think that you guys will really learn some incredible insight from what their team is doing. And they're just very consistent. So they didn't start out very big. And now they consistently have like 10 to 15 people that show up to these events. And it's because they kind of just have a standing running, like, this is when we're having it. So do you, Amanda or Jessica, have any questions about events? I don't want to, there's not a ton that you can talk about. It really is just more how you feel about going about it.
I feel good. I think that I've had a event with Dinora and we did the wine, which was phenomenal. It was awesome. But I haven't had my own standalone event. So I'm looking towards potentially May, because April's kind of full for us personally, but having my first event. So these are all great tips.
Awesome. Yeah. Like I said, figure out what is going to work best for you. But yeah, like I said, kind of feel it out, but good. I'm glad that those are some good tips. And as you're setting it up, if you have another idea that is completely different, but it's combining those, like, shoot it out there and, throw it out there and say, hey, what do you think about this? And I can provide some feedback. I will say that the types of events that I would avoid, and not necessarily avoid, but you would definitely have to approach it differently, is if someone is having a big community, like, oh, hey, we're going to have a huge vendor fair. We would love for you to take part. So I have done, I don't know, maybe 8 of these, and they've all been no good for me. Mostly because we are not a cash and carry company. And a lot of people go to those to be able to pick something up and take it home. So, hey, Kayla, how are you? So when you go to something like that, you either need to have your laptop out to sign people up like on the spot. Oh my gosh, this sounds great. Perfect. It takes 5 seconds. I'm logged in already. Let's enter your information and we'll get it shipped to your house. So if you're going to do something like that, you have to have your computer, your laptop, whatever there for them to take the solutions tool and for them to sign up on the spot, because you will legit never hear from these people again. Like, you just won't. And so for me, it's, what is your time worth? Those vendor fairs can be 4 to 6 hours long. And if you're taking 4 to 6 hours to be away from your family, or, man, I can think of the things that I could do income producing like 4 to 6 hours for my business versus standing there and talking and interacting with people. You might get someone. So I'm not saying that they're a total wash. You just have to be really prepared with how you go about them, and know that everyone there is going to be cash and carry and you are not. And so you have to be willing and ready to jump in and say, you need to sign up now. So I just throw that out there because I've been to several of them and I have just witnessed it, and I've had teammates do the same thing. So you can do cash and carry though. There is a little receipt book that you can buy where people can write on the little receipt book and have the receipt. If they don't like it, they can send the receipt with the product into Rodan Fields and get their 60-day money back. But the big thing is we just don't carry inventory. So it just depends on if you want to be someone that then houses inventory to do that. So those are a couple tips around those types of things. But I just would recommend all of the other things I said before you do something like this. Unless it's like a small, like what I said, like, 3 or 4 of us are getting together to do an event, great. But if you're going into like a community center and there's going to be 70 vendors or 30 vendors and it's just a public event, it's actually a great way for you to meet people. You just have to be in the mindset of, I have to sign them up on the spot. So any questions? Kayla, we were just talking through events, but I'm actually just wrapping up. So I didn't know if there's any other events. But Amanda, I'm excited. Let us know what you decide to do.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, Kayla, can you hear us?
Yes, I am still at work. So as you can see, I'm still in the winery. But we're almost closed. So I just jumped in really quick.
That's fine.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry at all.
Yeah, so I watch the recording and I'll message you if I have a question or anything like that. But I plan on having an event. I talked to a few girls that I actually work with. Thelma, Jessica will remember from my party, and we're going to probably get together and do like a pop-up at the winery.
Fun.
Yeah.
So, that's awesome. Yeah, we were just talking about all the different ways and types of events that I have done or I've heard about that are really successful. So yeah, if you go back through and watch the recording, you will pick up some good tips. If you have questions, ask. Or as I told Amanda and Jessica, if you think of a way to kind of marry some of the ones that we've suggested and you just kind of want some feedback, like, hey, I'm thinking I liked this, this, and this. What if I piece these together? Like, what are your thoughts? Shoot them our way. Even in that group message or whatever, and then we can say, hey, yeah, actually we tried that, or yeah, if you're going to do that, be sure to do this, or kind of stay away from this. So usually there's not a lot of things to stay away from. Just it's always helpful though, anything that you're having, to have technology. So I had my laptop today and I signed someone up actually on the spot today, and I also had someone take my solutions tool. So that's just a good thing to have actually anywhere you're doing something, whether it's on your phone. Hopefully you have your phone with you, have it charged, an iPad, or if you carry a laptop around. My event was at my house, so I had my laptop. But you have a second to share your stats?
Oh,
that's okay. You don't have to know your PSPB, but like, how was did you get any new PCs or?
Oh, can you still see me?
You're frozen, but I can hear you.
Oh, okay. What was the question?
Did you get any new PCs, and how are your reach outs and follow-ups this week?
I didn't get any new PCs, and my reach out and follow-ups, I did 4 reach outs. So I'll push harder to do the 10 that we talked about last training for this next week coming up. But yeah, so I followed up with them and I didn't really get any feedback,
That's okay.
but I put the word out there.
That's right. Yep, you trickled. You did a little trickle on the seed you planted.
See if I can't get you back. Somehow I lost it on my phone.
That's okay. You're frozen with your mouth open, so.
Oh, great, beautiful.
Oh, you're back. You're back.
Hey.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So continue to work towards striving on increasing your reach outs and your follow-ups. Use that language that I posted, Taylor. Really try to figure out, what works best for you. And like I said, get that list pulled together. Having a list.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you guys for joining. I will let you go. Happy month end. And next week we have a guest speaker. I'm super excited for you guys to meet her virtually and learn from her. And she's a lot of energy. I hope that Zoom can keep the energy.
Cool.
So anyway, the end of March, and then let's set some goals for April. So kind of think about that, and next week we can even chat about some of our April goals. Okay.
All right. Thank you. I'll talk to y'all next week.
Yeah, sounds good.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.